Hello, I'm Paul Sheasley, and today we're here talking about what to do when your direct reports don't trust you. And you can feel it in the room. So I'm bringing this up for three different reasons. The first one, because mistrust rarely announces itself directly, it's going to show up in side conversations, reluctance, the fine compliance, and quiet undermining. The second reason is because leaders get stuck trying to fix being misunderstood when the real issue is coherence. Do your words, decisions, and behaviors match consistently over time? The third reason, because this gets worse during change. I see this all the time with layoffs, transitions, restructuring, acquisitions, mergers. When direct reports aren't privy to the full picture, the brain fills the gap with fear and fairness narratives. So, why me? I'm a psychotherapist and an executive coach, founder of EPC Leadership, Executive Performance Coaching. I work with CEOs and senior team leaders in high pressure environments where trust, decision, clarity, and communication have to hold, especially when you can't share everything. I'm coming at this from three different angles: performance psychology, what pressure does to perception and trust; strategic execution, how decisions, trade offs create credibility; and systems leadership, how mistrust spreads through layers. Now, here's the point I want to make. When you sense mistrust, the prime question is not, why don't they like me? Or how do I get them to understand? The prime question to ask is, what evidence does the team have that I'm coherent or not coherent? Because mistrust is rarely about one conversation. It's about a pattern people think they've detected, either through inconsistency, hidden decisions, there's unclear trade-offs, or feelings of unfairness, or leaders saying one thing while doing another. And if you're in a season where you truly can't share everything, like layoff information or restructuring, sensitive negotiations, then coherence matters even more. Because when people lack information, they do not stay neutral. They create a story. So the trap leaders fall into is getting wrapped up in misunderstanding. A lot of leaders get pulled into a loop like they don't understand what I'm doing, or they're misrepresenting me, they're reading me wrong, they think I'm hiding something. And you can spend weeks trying to correct everyone's perception. But here's the hard truth: misunderstanding isn't the main problem, mistrust is. And mistrust isn't repaired by explaining harder. It's repaired by restoring coherence, clarity in decisions, stability in priorities, fairness in process, and consistency in communication, and clean repair when something breaks. So, mistrust among direct reports usually shows up as they want everything in writing. They comply, but they don't commit. More often, this one, they triangulate with HR and peers. There's also the venting on the side channels. And they stop bringing you real problems potentially. And they'll often ask the hard or real questions that feel loaded, which is, so what's really happening? And it's not uncommon for them to assume you've cut a deal or you're protecting yourself. And often they won't say, I don't trust you. They'll say, we're just trying to get clarity, or we're not getting the full truth, and we keep hearing different things. That's actually mistrust dressed up as coordination. So this often happens again during change, layoffs, or some sort of perceived unfairness. And in change seasons, direct reports are carrying a few silent questions, specifically around stability. Are we safe? Are we next? Are we going to keep a job? Fairness. Who's protected? Who's not? Who's exposed? And truth. Are we being told the real plan, or is the rug going to be ripped out? They're also concerned about status. What does this mean for me? And obviously, control. Do leaders actually have a handle on this? If they're not privy to these decisions, they will fill in the gaps. They will often fill them up with these fear-based assumptions like, am I next? Or the fairness narratives that this is somehow rigged. And there's a motive story, such as like, oh, he's just protecting himself. So the goal isn't to give them all the information, because sometimes you can't. The goal is, don't let the gap become more chaos. You have to fill the gap with coherence. So why does mistrust grow? So let's look at this from the EPC lens, starting with inner architecture. Leaders under pressure often do one of three things. They're either going to over-control information, they're going to over-reassure, saying everything's fine, or become vague because they're not trying to trigger more conflict. Unfortunately, vagueness is not neutral. Vagueness is going to continue to breed a storyline and a narrative. So if we look at strategic alignment, when priorities and decisions shift without an explicit trade-off, the team is going to conclude that there is no plan, or there is a plan, but we're not included. So either way, trust is going to diminish. Through the adaptive leadership lens, during transition specifically, the system is already going to be dysregulated. If leadership avoids discomfort, people will sense it and start protecting themselves. And so this is where coherence becomes leadership containment. So I have a coherence repair model for instances such as this, when the climate is around mistrust. So again, you don't have to repair mistrust with more explanation. You're going to repair it with three forms of coherence. There's the coherence of reality. What is true right now? Coherence of decision. What's decided versus what's not decided. And coherence of follow-through. What happens after we meet and we have this conversation? If any one of those is missing, mistrust will continue to grow. So, what's one of the most stabilizing moves a leader can make in these situations? So, for example, here's what I can say right now. Here's what I can't say yet. And here's when you can expect an update. These types of statements are going to protect your credibility, because direct reports can tolerate uncertainty. What they can't tolerate is feeling managed. And if layoffs or sensitive changes in the background, you don't need false reassurance. You need a truthful structure. And so coherence of decision is what separates or separate what's decided from what's open. So this is where many leaders accidentally create mistrust. So they speak in this soft maybe language. You want to use a clear structure. Here's what's decided. Here's still what's in motion. Here's what's open for input. And here's what's not changing. That doesn't reveal confidential details. It's revealing a coherent map and understanding. And the map reduces potential anxiety and or panic. You also want to make your behavior match your message. Direct reports don't trust leaders because they miss one detail. They mistrust leaders because patterns don't match. So follow through is the trust builder here. So these decisions are actually getting documented. Owners are being named. Timelines are not drifting without an explanation. And updates happen when you said they would. Trade-offs are explicit. We are pausing X to focus on Y. This is why I keep coming back to the anchor line, the trade-off topic. Until something is explicitly deprioritized, nothing is actually prioritized. When everything stays alive, direct reports assume leadership is either hiding something or doesn't know. You also want to use the room to end side channel storytelling. If you're sensing venting, back-channeled threads, or even watching them delete the threads after a meeting when you're not there, loaded comments, don't chase the rumor. You bring coherence into the room. A clean, rational reset. Might sound like, I'm noticing there are different stories circulating. I don't want us solving this inside conversations. Let's name what feels unclear, and I'll tell you what's true, what's decided, and what's next. That's not confrontational, that's containment. You also want to address the fairness problem directly and without defensiveness. When the mistrust is unfair or leaders cut deals, the reflex is to defend yourself. Don't do that. Instead, you want to ground the process. I want to name the fairness concern. Here's the process we're using to make decisions. Here's what's being optimized for. And here's what would make this feel more fair in execution. You have to remember, fairness isn't only outcome, it's process clarity. And people can handle outcomes better when the process is credible. You want to repair fast when trust gets nicked. That's important here. When direct reports feel lied to or even feel managed, they can sense it. And what you want to say potentially is, I can see how that landed. If I created the impression that I wasn't being straight with you, that matters to me. Here's what I meant. Here's what I can say now. And here's what I'll do differently moving forward. You're not apologizing for having boundaries. You're repairing the relational impact it's having. And that's true leadership maturity. If your direct reports mistrust you, the management layer below them feels it too, because mistrust always leaks downwards. So the coherence has to travel. So there's 3 requirements, I believe. So there's a stable cadence when updates happen. There's a shared message, 1 to 2 sentence comms lines after meetings, and a decision log. What's decided, not decided, and who owns what. This is going to prevent distortion and is going to reduce the need for side channel or truth seeking. So there's a distinction I want to land for you all listening. Being misunderstood is not fatal. Being incoherent is. Direct reports can handle uncertainty, they can handle change, and even disappointing decisions. What they can't handle is feeling like reality is shifting without a map. And they're not, maybe not even a part of the map. So if you want to address mistrust, don't obsess over perception. You want to rebuild coherence. The reality, decisions, follow through. That's how trust comes back. I'd like to leave you with reflection questions. The first one, where have I been vague to avoid discomfort and accidentally created mistrust? What would my direct report say is incoherent right now? Is it priorities, decisions, or follow through? And lastly, what is one thing I can stabilize this week? My communication, decision clarity, or trade-offs? If this resonates, especially for those leaders navigating transition, layoffs, acquisitions, merging, high uncertainty, your job isn't to control every narrative. It's to restore coherence so trust has something real to attach to. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.